In today's video, I'm excited to have Jonathan Sigmon from Alan Flusser here in my office for the first fitting of our custom slack jacket. I'm Kirby Allison, and I love helping the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Join me as we explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. So I'm in the office today with Jonathan Sigmon from Alan Flusser. Jonathan, hey, thank you so much for coming to Dallas. We've got the first fitting for the custom slack jacket that I was measured for back in Houston at the Trunk Show there. Yep. And so here we are. This is the actual piece, and this is the next step in the Alan Flusser kind of custom process.
Yeah, second step. So as you said, we measured you. We showed you the cloths. You selected one. That's obviously the first step in any custom ordering process. This is the basted fitting, so in a few minutes we're going to try this on.
So Jonathan, whenever we were in Houston, you were mentioning how the slack jacket is something that's only offered custom. Right,
yeah, just because we mainly make it in this or a similar jersey kind of knitted cloth. Yep. So this is a wool and cotton knit. Mm-hmm. It's got four-way stretch, obviously, and it's just extremely difficult to deal with when you're making things either made to measure or custom.
So is it a more difficult garment than like even a suit to make, you think?
Without a doubt, which is maybe a little hard for some. Yeah, a little counterintuitive. Maybe hard for some people to understand that a more casual piece is actually more complicated than even say like a three-piece suit. But just given the nature of how difficult the cloth is to work with in the machines, you're trying to run a straight line, it's wanting to move around. It's actually quite difficult. It's especially important that we do a basted fitting on this type of garment because there's just so much margin for error making a garment like this that we want to make sure we get it as close to correct as possible before we really start putting it together.
And Alan, of course, has such a high standard for how he wants his garments to fit. I mean, that is, I think, one of the reasons you go to Alan Flusser is, again, his background really lends itself to, he's got a very specific idea and position in terms of what he wants. And so I suppose a garment like this that's more prone to kind of shifting throughout that making process just requires a little bit of extra attention.
It does, and even though, like we said, it's a little counterintuitive, even though it's essentially, we like to think of it as a tailored sweater, and it's a little bit easier, it's cut just a little bit looser, still has a really high armhole, full chest, full blades for that range of motion. But even though it is an easier garment, it requires so much effort to make and so much attention to detail through the fitting and the sewing process that, we have very high standards in all of our clothes, and no less when it comes to casual wear.
Yep, so you do the basted fitting here. So we'll try this on, the basted fitting, and then what would be next for this particular garment?
So in our custom-made clothes, we really, especially for a first-time client like you are now in custom, we really need a minimum of 2 fittings. First the basted fitting, and then the next time would probably be in New York, next time we're there. And we would make sure all the nips and tucks are done, and then we can deliver it to you.
Okay, yeah, great. Anyway, absolutely beautiful jacket, and again, I guess we're starting to see some of these details come together that really make this piece unique.
Yeah, so we always, when it comes to this fabric, we always half line it or even a little bit less. Primarily because since it is a knit, you really want to be able to take advantage of that stretch. So if you fully line the back, then when you move your arms, when you move around, you lose a lot of the give, which is a large value part of the jacket. This is a reversible cloth, so it has this kind of brighter blue on the inside, and we take that into account when we're choosing the lining.
It's a beautiful lining.
Yeah, if you notice the lining, it also has kind of a light or brighter blue diamond motif. So we want something that picks up the navy of the face, and it picks up the light blue of the reverse side also.
And I love the pop of this. I mean, it's almost a burgundy, but it almost looks like it's got a little bit of fuchsia almost in it.
We love burgundy, we love red and blue together, and we think it's a great piece. We use this one pretty often.
Does this have a little bit of an extra of a gusset built in again to account for that stretch and the movability?
So again, everything is designed to make this as comfortable as possible and take advantage of the nature of the cloth.
Yeah, and it really is a piece for travel, and so it needs to be something that you can pull out of your bag, put it on, and it looks great. Take it off, throw it back in your travel bag.
Without a doubt. I came in a duffel bag about 30 minutes ago from New York, about 4.5 hours on the flight, packed it up last night, and as you can see, there's basically no wrinkles. A cloth like this, a knitted cloth, is really not going to wrinkle at all. So you can throw it in your bag, you can use it as a pillow. It's the only piece I took on a long trip to Paris in the last winter. Wore it for dinners, wore it out, wore it around the city. It's so versatile and so comfortable that it's kind of a do anything, go anywhere piece that you know, is what we're focusing on
Yeah,
these days.
well, I travel a lot, so I can't wait to actually be able to wear this piece. So without further ado, let's try it on.
Great.
All right, so here we go. Beautiful.
All right. How's it feel?
Feels great. I mean, this is what I like about this piece.
Right.
Is very seldomly can you find a casual piece that can still look good with like a shirt and tie.
Right, for sure. What we like about this jacket, again, there's several really key things, besides obviously the cloth. We love the pockets. If you want a travel jacket or just something you can take anywhere, do anything in, it should be really, really easy to access the pockets. You know, there's obviously a little bit of a stronger pocketing in there to make up for the stretch knit, but no flaps, just a simple slash pocket, really comfortable, really easy access for your arms. You know, we like our somewhat curved breast pocket shape. It's a really interesting patch pocket design. We think it works quite well with this model jacket. Yeah. It's kind of like a shirt collar. It's a little bit different. It's a non-traditional jacket collar, so it obviously gives a little bit of a casual element to it. Yeah. You know, the front is straight. It's going to be a 4-button front rather than a traditional jacket shape. So it's a type of cloth, or it's a type of jacket that can be worn like this with a suit and tie. It's got a lining in the sleeve, unlike some slack jackets or some other safari-style jackets that would get hung up on a sweater or a shirt. So really easy to slide on and off. It's a dressy enough cloth that if you wanted to wear it with gray slacks and a tie like this, it would perform, or it would pair quite well. But it's also, you could also wear it with something like this, with jeans and a sweater and a belt, and it'd be equally versatile. Yeah,
and the lining dresses it up also,
for sure.
Honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, because even if you're not going to wear this thing totally buttoned all the time,
right.
And so you're going to catch some flashes
around,
of the lining.
You're going to sit down, it's going to come out, and yeah, you're right. It does dress it up quite a bit, especially with that silky finish.
Yeah, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a bespoke. I mean, definitely signals that this is a custom garment.
For sure. One more thing, I actually like what I'm doing now. We make a lot of our separate jackets with turn back cuffs.
Okay.
So it's basted closed at the moment, but when you have a buttonhole, if you're wearing a sweater, if you're wearing something that's not a dressy shirt, you can turn that back and it be just a little bit of a more sporty finish.
And so the facing, I guess, goes up farther, so that whenever you turn it back, you don't reveal the lining.
Exactly, yeah. So we cut the lining to stop about 3.5 inches or so from the base of the sleeve. So when you turn it back, all you see is a little bit more
lining.
Yeah. Obviously, the buttonholes are all going to be handmade, hand-sewn, so it's also kind of nice to show the nice finishing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, great. Well, so as far as fit, I mean, what are the things that you look for at this stage?
So there's a few things that are pretty obvious right now. The first main thing we want to do is drop this shoulder a little bit. We're still a little bit more sloped than what we cut it for. You've got some drag lines showing up here.
And you see that with this opening?
Less the opening, more about the drag line from your neck point here down to your armhole. So the cloth is sagging just a little bit there.
Okay.
So we're going to slope that a little bit, or drop that a little bit more than what it is now. Sleeves are not quite correct. The right sleeve is a little bit longer than the left, but both of them are a little bit too long. We do like that this coat is a little bit easier, just a little bit fuller than a normal coat. It should be very comfortable and very casual, but still there's just a little bit too much in the chest, so we're going to take that in a bit. So even though we're taking this in, when we deliver it to you, it still will be a little bit fuller than a classic sport jacket. It won't have quite the same waist suppression that most of your suit jacket or sport jackets have. It's just supposed to be something very soft, very easy to throw on, not really meant to give you a lot of shape. If you'll turn a little bit this way. Again, same thing you can see in the back, the drag lines a little bit that the sloping will take care of. The sleeve pitch is really nice. The collar and back is really nice. It's really nice, especially if you have a scarf or something that you wear underneath it. It really frames everything really nicely. We are going to pinch this collar a little bit just to get a better grip on your neck. taking in just a little bit in the center seam from about the waist down. Again, we like it a little bit fuller, but it is pushing out just a little bit in the center vent. Vents look good though. Once this is sloped, it's going to be really, really clean coming straight down. Can you turn a little bit more, please? We will probably slope just a little bit to the left, not quite as much as the right, but just to clean up a couple drag lines. Yeah, there's really not that much to do. I mean, it looks really great. We're going to clean up the shoulder, as I said, take in the center seam a little bit, shorten this collar, get it to grip your neck a little bit more. Take care of the sleeves, they're a little bit long right now. We'll just check the button stance in the mirror here. We'll keep looking that way.
And how do you position the buttons?
So it's a 4-button front, but you're only
Is
really
it
going
like
to be...
a roll to 3 where you button the second one? And
Yeah, so the second and third ones are the ones that you'll be buttoning most. I pretty much only button the second one from the bottom, which is basically the waist button.
Okay.
If it's a little bit cooler or if it's windy, maybe you'll button up this one up here, maybe this one up here, depending on how chilly it is. But for the most part, you're going to use these 2 anchor buttons as if they were kind of a single waist button on a regular sport jacket. And once we get back to the shop, we'll make sure that these are all evenly spread, about 4.5 inches or so apart, but the approximate measurement for here, this is really the key one.
The key one, yeah.
Okay, does that feel about right?
Yeah. And it's one of those small details, like with a custom garment, that makes such a big difference. The button stance is not in the right place. It is so annoying when you wear it.
It could be 3/4 of an inch off, and every time you put a jacket on, if it's different from what you're used to, you notice it, and it can bother you. Okay, this looks pretty good.
Yeah. Great, and interior pockets. I mean, again, this is a travel garment, so...
Yep. So, passport pocket on one side, it's going to come up a little bit. Well, it's basted shut right now, but it's going to come up a little bit. So if you have something taller, you can, put it in there, and it slides at the top. And a couple little smaller, like cigarette pocket here. Just another breast pocket here. Yeah. Quite simple, pretty standard. It is a travel jacket, but we don't want to overload it with pockets either because it is a knit. So
and I love again, these pockets, for the hands. It's just so, they're so natural.
Really easy to wear. And it's nice that you did that, because as you, if you do that again, this collar kind of pops out a little bit more. So seeing you move around a little bit, I'm going to actually take it in a little bit more than I thought I needed to. Because it stands off your neck a little bit more than it did when you were standing straight. It's an interesting thing about fitting people, actually, is a lot of the times somebody will be, and that's something we have to remember as well, but somebody will be standing, like a soldier almost, or just in one position. So we'll fit the jacket to that, and then it's not obviously the way that they go throughout life. So moving around in the clothes, putting your hands in your pockets, folding your arms, and seeing what happens to the coat, like seeing this collar pop off a little bit, is actually really helpful to having a good fitting.
Yeah, well, it's one of the reasons I think you were saying that you guys have such a comfortable environment to do the fittings in New York, is so that put the garment on, look at it, make some adjustments in the mirror, and then let them kind of hang out for a little bit.
Three-way mirror, see it from every angle. There's always 2 or 3 of us looking at the fitting together. So if the head tailor sees something, or if Alan sees something, or if I see something, you like to think that between the 3 of us, we'll get it pretty close.
Well, and that collaborative kind of experience produces a better result. Anyway.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So what's the next step? So I'll be in New York in about a week's time.
Perfect. That'll be great. Yeah, we'll have one more fitting in New York. Basting stitches will be out. We'll have finished it. We'll probably have cut buttonholes and put on buttons at that point. That's one more thing we could talk about briefly here. We would do probably a dark brown horn.
Okay.
Just because a navy horn can be a little bit too similar, since it's a navy jacket. It can sometimes look like, even though the cut is a little bit different, navy on navy can kind of look like an orphan suit jacket. So a dark brown we think is most interesting because it pairs well with jeans, with khakis, with gray pants.
You can work in some brown, and then it works with black also.
Yeah. Does that feel all right to you?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so a natural brown horn button. Again, 4 buttons on the front. We didn't really talk about this, but we would do 2 buttons on the sleeve. Okay. Since it is this turn back cuff, and it's just a little bit of a sporty model that we think is pretty interesting. And we'll have the final fitting, take care of any nips and tucks, and from there we'll send it on to you in time for the holidays.
Gosh, exciting. This will certainly get a lot of use during the holidays.
Great, I'm looking forward to it.
Jonathan, hey, thank you so much.
Glad to.
Yeah, cheers.